You know, you swallow hundreds, maybe even thousands of times a day, and you probably don't give it a second thought. But what if I told you that every single swallow is as complex and precise as a full glam makeup routine? Yeah, you heard that right. That's exactly what we're going to break down today. The hidden science behind one of your body's most impressive and honestly underrated feats. So, this right here, this is our core idea. Think about it. Swallowing is basically a full glam routine. If you skip a step, if you rush it, you get fallout, creasing, transfer, total chaos. And in this case, chaos isn't just a bad photo. Oh no, we're talking choking, we're talking food going up your nose, or way worse. So let's get into it. Let's walk through the routine for that flawless, life-sustaining finish, step by step. All right, so here's the plan. We've got 4 main steps to our flawless swallow. We'll start with prepping the face, then move on to applying the foundation. After that, it's all about setting the look. And finally, the walk out the door. Let's get started. Okay, first up, prep and application. In, the sciencey terms, these are the oral and oral preparatory phases. This is all about getting the food or drink in, getting it ready, and positioning it perfectly for what comes next. I mean, you wouldn't just slap foundation on a dry, unprepped face, would you? Of course not. It's the exact same principle here. And this is our canvas, the oral cavity. So the first job, the absolute #1 priority, is just to contain everything. Make sure nothing escapes before you're ready. This is where we create what's called a bolus, and that's just the fancy technical term for that little perfectly formed ball of food or liquid you're about to swallow. You know, every great routine needs the right tools, right? Swallowing is no different. Your lips and your cheeks, they're basically there to keep the product on your face, prevent any spillage. Think of it like a good lip liner, stopping your lipstick from bleeding. Your teeth, they break it all down. Saliva, that's your hydrating spray, binding everything together. And the tongue? Oh, the tongue is the star of the show. It is the ultimate beauty blender. All right, so the prep work is officially done. We've got our bolus, and now it's time for the application. This is where we go from just holding the food to actively, intentionally moving it backward. This is what's called the oral phase. And just like blending foundation, it is all about control and precision. If you rush this part, you're going to get a patchy, uneven result. And look, this is where that tongue, our beauty blender, truly shines. It has this amazingly complex set of internal muscles that let it change shape on a dime. Seriously, it can flatten, it can narrow, it can curve, all to perfectly shape that bolus and then push it backward with total precision. It is, and I'm not kidding, the CEO of control. So you might be wondering, how does the tongue actually pull all this off? Well, it's not a solo act. It's part of a whole toolkit, a whole crew of specialized muscles all working together in perfect harmony. So let's meet the tools of the trade. Okay, this basically lays it all out for you. You've got the buccinator and orbicularis oris. Those are the muscles in your lips and cheeks that give you that perfect seal. Then you've got 2 sets of tongue muscles, the extrinsic ones, which are for the big positioning movements, like aiming your blender, and the intrinsic ones, which do the detailed work, changing the blender's shape. And the powerhouse behind the chewing? That's the masseter. And get this, fun fact, pound for pound, it's the strongest muscle in the entire human body. Pretty wild, right? Okay. Foundation is applied. Now we move on to the most critical part, this setting phase. In swallowing, this is called the pharyngeal phase. And if the last part was about control, this part is about setting the look so it does not budge. This is hands down the most complex, the fastest, and the most critical part of the entire swallow. We're talking about a process that happens in less than a second, and it's where things can go very, very wrong. And here's exactly why it's so critical. The pharynx, your throat, is basically a super busy intersection. You've got one road for air going to your lungs and another for food going to your stomach, and they cross right here. So that little bolus of food is sitting right at this dangerous intersection, and your body has to, without you even thinking about it, execute this series of perfectly timed involuntary actions to make sure it goes down the right pipe. And this all happens in a blink and you'll miss it 3-part process. Boom. Velopharyngeal closure. Your soft palate shoots up to seal off your nose. You do not want foundation going up your nose. Boom. Tongue base retraction. The back of your tongue pushes down hard, creating pressure. That's like pressing your setting powder in. And boom. Pharyngeal constriction. Your throat muscles squeeze everything down, clearing out any residue. You gotta snatch that wig, make sure it's secure.
But wait, the single most important part of this entire setting phase, the absolute non-negotiable mission, is protecting your airway. This isn't just another step in the routine. This is a full-on, high-security lockdown protocol. It's called laryngeal closure.
So that brings up a pretty big question, right? With food and air sharing the exact same space, how on earth do we not choke every single time we eat? I mean, really think about that. The answer is pretty incredible. It's a multi-layered, foolproof security system. Your body has this brilliant 3-valve security system. Check 1, the epiglottis. It's this little flap of cartilage that flips down over the airway, just like a helmet visor. Check 2, the false vocal folds close up tight. And finally, check 3, the final seal, your true vocal folds. Yep, the ones you use for your voice. Clamp shut. 3 layers of protection, all snapping into place in less than a second. And get a load of this. This is what it actually looks like from the inside. This view is from a camera looking down the throat during a swallow. You can see it, right? Everything has sealed off the entrance to the airway. The vault is locked, no exceptions. It's just incredible. Whew, okay. Once that bolus is safely past the airway, we can all relax. We're in the final phase, the esophageal phase. All the really hard, dangerous work is done. The look is set, the airway is safe, and now it's time for the effortless finale, the victory lap. So this last part is driven by something called peristalsis. It's this really cool sequential wave-like squeeze that moves the food all the way down the esophagus to the stomach. It's totally involuntary. And the analogy is perfect. It's your smooth, confident strut out the door. All the hard prep work paid off, the look is locked in, and you are just gliding. But what happens when the glam goes wrong? You know, when a step gets skipped, or maybe a muscle isn't working quite right. Well, that's when we get into the serious, clinical side of things. And there are 2 words you absolutely need to know: penetration and aspiration. Okay, let's use the makeup disaster analogy to make this super clear. On one hand, you have penetration. This is when food or liquid gets into the top of your airway, but, and this is key, it stays above the vocal folds. Think of it like getting some mascara fallout near your eye. It's annoying, you feel it, you cough or clear your throat to get it out, but you're okay. Then you have aspiration. This is the bad one. This is when that material goes below the vocal folds and into your airway. This is mascara in your eye. This is what can lead to choking or worse, serious lung infections like pneumonia. So what's scarier than getting makeup in your eye? What's scarier than that awful feeling of something going down the wrong pipe? It's the makeup disaster you don't even know is happening. It's called silent aspiration. That's when food or liquid gets into your lungs and your body doesn't even give you a warning signal. No cough, no choking feeling, nothing. It just happens. And it's a powerful, maybe even a little scary reminder of the silent, incredibly complex work our bodies are doing for us every single moment of every single day.